Hello everyone. Welcome to Topic of the Day. In this edition, we will discuss the medical cannabis. Now recently, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, which is a leading pharmaceutical company in India, announced the acquisition of Nimbus Health. Nimbus Health is a wholesale company of Germany focusing on medical cannabis. Now this acquisition will strengthen the company's position in the global medical cannabis industry. And it will also introduce the effective cannabis-based medicine. So let's discuss about what is cannabis. Firstly, cannabis is a generic term, so the scientific name is cannabis sativa. The cannabis leaves or the other crude plant material in the Mexican language are famously known as marijuana. Another term is hashish or hash, which is made by processing the flowering buds and the unpollinated female plants. Then there is a cannabinoids, which is actually a concentrate of cannabinoids obtained by solvent extraction of crude plant material or the resin. So what is a cannabinoid? Now these are naturally occurring compounds found in the cannabis sativa plant. There are around 480 different compounds that are present in the cannabis plant, but only 66 of them are termed as cannabinoids. If we talk about the global demand for medicinal cannabis, is decriminalized and allowed for medical purpose in several regions of Northern America, Africa, Australia, Europe, and South America. Also, Portugal, Thailand, Germany have legalized marijuana for medical use. Let's discuss about the status of medical cannabis in India. Now in India, while the trade and consumption of cannabis are banned, and it is under the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act of 1985, calls for legalizing its use for medicinal purposes. Therefore, cannabis is not completely prohibited in the country as its medical and scientific use is allowed after obtaining necessary permissions from the state governments. In 2018, Uttarakhand became the first state in the country to allow commercial cultivation of hemp crops. Now, hemp and the marijuana plants are both the same species. There's a difference between the hemp and the marijuana plant. The hemp has only 0.3% or less THC, that is tetrahydrocannabinol, which is actually the main psychoactive ingredient present in the cannabis. So legally, the hemp is defined as the cannabis plant that contains 0.3 or less % of THC. So an year later, the Madhya Pradesh government also allowed commercial cultivation of the hemp crops. Now let's talk about the significance of cannabis. Firstly, it has medicinal properties, cancer treatment, psychotropic treatments, in surgery, and even countering COVID-19, etc. Also, it has a historic significance. As in Atharva Veda, cannabis is named as one of the 5 most sacred plants on the earth. Now let's discuss some of the challenges involved. Firstly, there are varying rules and regulations that causes hurdle for companies in building a global market of medicinal cannabis. Secondly, that is, it impairs brain and affect mental health. Also, the misuse of this leads to socio-economic deterioration of the youth. Now, bhang, which is generally used in India, is an edible preparation of cannabis that is not controlled under the NDPS or the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act of 1985. Now, let us take a practice question on this topic. Consider the following statements. First, Uttarakhand is the first state in India to allow commercial cultivation of the hemp crops. Second, bhang is an edible preparation of cannabis that is not controlled under the NDPS Act. Which of the statements given above are correct? You can write your answers in the comment section below. So the correct answer is C, as we have already discussed. Both the statements 1 and 2 are correct. So this was all for today's topic of the day. For regular updates, you can follow us on our social media handles. And for more such videos, do stay tuned to the next IAS YouTube channel.